What's up, YouTube? Today we are back with another video. We have our Spurs versus Knicks finals game 1 recap. Let's get into it. Alright, so game 1 was a crazy game from start to finish. It was a lot of runs from each team. I think the Knicks started off and they kind of showed their game plan that they wanted to get Jalen Brunson involved early, as well as let Karl-Anthony Towns attack Wemby from the perimeter, which started off working. I think the Knicks got up 10-4 early. The Spurs looked a little like the moment was they were jittery in a way, and they weren't just playing basketball. I think they were thinking a little bit too much, but you could see as the game went on, they started to settle down and they started to assert their dominance defensively, and they were able to get out and run and get in transition and use their youth and athleticism to build a 13-point lead at halftime. I think they were moving the ball well. Julian Champagnie was 5 of 6 from 3 in the first half, which was a huge boost. Dylan Harper came out and he was attacking early, getting to the rim, making jumpers, playing great defense, rebounding the ball, which is a big thing from guards because that can start the fast break quicker and you can actually get buckets in semi-transition as well. So I think he was really dialed in and he looked like not a regular rookie in those minutes. I think he honestly should have played more. Keldon Johnson was kind of a no-show. I think he got in and he got like 2 straight fouls. He wasn't giving you any offense, and Miss Johnson went away from him early, which had him play Harrison Barnes, who I don't think that he is somebody that you can give extended minutes to at this point in his career on this stage. I just don't think that is his game at this point. Carter Bryant also kind of looked like a rookie out there. Between him and Keldon Johnson not playing well, that kind of shortened the Spurs bench, and you could see that as they got into the fourth quarter, they were a lot more lethargic. They started making more mistakes and turning the ball over, which let the Knicks get back into it. I think De'Aaron Fox has to be more assertive. I think he was very passive. He was getting to spots and he looked indecisive in ways, and it led to turnovers or shots that were short or long because he wasn't focused on shooting the shot, and ultimately led him to having a pretty bad game. Victor Wembanyama, he's an amazing player, probably the greatest defender we will ever see, but 2 big things stood out. One, on the perimeter, I think he lunges at people a little bit too much, allowing them to go by him, which is something the Knicks could exploit into getting him into foul trouble in game 2, as well as his offensive game. It's too perimeter based, and I don't think he's somebody that needs to be a low post guy primarily, but I think him in the mid post with a just catch, turn around and shoot that mid-range jumper, or 1 to 2 dribbles and him getting a hook shot, I think that will unlock his game, and it will also save him energy, because doing all that dribbling on the perimeter, not only is it having him be turnover prone, but it's also getting too many eyes on him. He's having to use too much energy, and you saw him kind of fade as the game went on. Not because he's not built for the pressure, but because he's extended himself too much on effort-wise on the offensive end. And I think that was a big showcase in the fourth quarter and was ultimately the difference between the 2 teams. So the Spurs, they have minimal adjustments to make. I think if they make those adjustments, they'll win game 2. And on the Knicks side, they didn't look good for most of the game. They looked rushed. They didn't obviously want to look at the rim with Wemby being there. The mid-range shots weren't falling. They were doing a lot of complaining. They didn't look all the way in tune with the game. Jalen Brunson hurt his knee and then turned around and hurt his ankle, so he was hobbled. I think he shot like 12 of 31 from the field. He didn't have a great efficient game, but he showed up when it mattered most in the fourth quarter, getting big tap out rebounds. He's the smallest guy on the floor, and he's tapping the ball out to get an extra possession for his team. And it's little things like that that wins games. And I think that he obviously made some big shots. The mid-range over Vassell, the three in the corner, those were really big for them. And I think it really put the pressure on the Spurs in front of the home crowd, and they looked a little shell-shocked. I think Karl Anthony Towns was aggressive early, but it started to fade as he got more frustrated, and that ended up showing in his defense, where he picked up like 2 quick fouls, because when his offensive game isn't going his way, he typically engages less on defense, and that's where it leads to his foul trouble that he's known to have over the course of his NBA career. I thought Josh Hart was really big. He didn't make a lot of shots. I think he only had like 5 points, but he rebounded the ball exceptionally well on both the offensive and defensive end. And again, it's the little things. You're on the biggest stage. It's not going to be, oh, I hit 6 threes, or oh, this, oh, that wins you the game. It's, I dove on the floor for this loose ball. I made sure I slid over and helped instead of just helping with my hands to actually stop the ball. Instead of giving up a layup, we gave up a contested 3. It's little things like that that win you games, especially in the biggest moments. So OG Anunoby, he kind of looked out of sorts a little bit. I think the rim protection of Wemby really bothered him and turned him into primarily a jump shooter, and a jump shooter off the dribble, which isn't really his game. Mikal Bridges was okay. I think defensively he was pretty good. Offensively, I didn't really notice him a whole bunch, but I think he played well enough, obviously, to win the game. Jose Alvarado was a pretty good boost for the Knicks. Jordan Clarkson, I don't think he can play in this series. He just has too many defensive lapses, and they're like back-to-back. You can't compound mistakes on this stage. These are the two best teams in the league, one from the East, one from the West. You can't compound mistakes when you are trying to win the NBA Finals. And I thought both coaches did a good job as far as their game plan. The one thing I didn't like from the Spurs and Mitch Johnson was having Wembanyama on Karl Anthony Towns to start the game. I think he should have started on Josh Hart, and I talked about that in my preview. But he started on Wembanyama, and they attacked him relentlessly. In the second quarter, third quarter, you saw Victor guarding Josh Hart and giving him threes so he could still protect the paint. And it was very reminiscent to what Steve Kerr did in the 2015 playoffs versus the Memphis Grizzlies, where he put Andrew Bogut on Tony Allen and gave him those give me threes to allow for extra rim protection with Bogut to basically fake double the player with the ball at all times, and it worked. So I think that's an adjustment we'll see going forward in game 2, is Wembanyama starting on Josh Hart and allowing him to just be that roamer on defense. And I think what we will also see is from the Knicks is more Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson pick and roll. I think they went away from it a little bit, and you saw those scoring droughts. I think Landry Shamet was also big for the Knicks, as he knocked down, I think it was a big step back jumper on the right wing. It was a great shot. It didn't even touch the rim, and it started a run for them, or it was in the middle of the run for them. And it's things like that that really help when you get plays like that from your bench. All in all, I think the Knicks can make some certain adjustments to give themselves a really good chance in game 2, starting with trying to get Wemby in every action on the perimeter, pulling him out the paint, whatever it is you have to do that. And for the Spurs, I think more so it's them just settling down and playing their game. I thought they got really sped up in that fourth quarter, which led to a lot of those turnovers, which then led to a lot of those buckets and runs. So I'm excited for this series. I still will say Spurs in 6. I'm not changing my prediction, but I think it is going to be a really good series, and it's going to come down to those little micro adjustments and who does them better. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Who do you have winning? Who wins game 2? let me know. I appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back.